constant beat. It pounds in our hearts. A desire for more, a call that tugs from within us. Of something we're not quite sure. Can we see the signs? Can we read the times? A message to deliver, light into darkness, hope into despair, from desolation to repair. A whole world waiting to be reached, encouraged and teach, develop, transform, show them there's more.
There's something in us that cries out for more. Each time I think of the search for something greater, I remember a time in my life that I set aside 12 weeks to get to know myself better, to reflect on my core values, and to know God in a deeper way. My discipleship training school was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It was such an amazing time of getting to know people from different parts of the world. It was during this time that I found my true identity and potential in Christ. I learned to hear the voice of God and to have a heart for the lost. When lecture phase was over, it was time for us to put all that we'd learned into practice. It didn't matter where we went to. Some went to rural villages, some went to bustling cities. It was all about allowing God to do what He needed to do through us and in us. I can say that I stepped out of my comfort zone, and since then, nothing has been the same again.
My African brothers, I cry for you more than the others. Radios in your houses, without water in your taps. Who can reach you? Who will make you see? My African heart beats. It beats and beats and bleeds for you. How I long to sing a song of redemption and hope. I have a voice, a message I know. Show me a way to get the truth on the airwaves.
I find radio presenting is one of the most fulfilling jobs one can ever do. I love music, I love interacting with people, but most of all, I love the fact that radio crosses boundaries. It lets me into the homes of my listeners, from the poorest of the poor to the influential and wealthy. Microphone techniques, mixing, and engineering are some of the skills one needs to know in hosting your show. In this day and age, radio is one of the most powerful tools, especially in Africa, where more people have access to the sound of radio than to running water.
An image, speaker of 1,000 words in a single moment. Time there is captured. A key to lock doors, places to explore, dignity to restore. An individual's response to seeing themselves in a photo for the first time. The amazement, the awe, a bond of friendship is formed. An image, the power of a single picture.
When I hear the sound of the shutter closing, I know that I've just captured a unique moment in time. It's about taking a photograph and allowing our viewers to see a small part of God's world. During the photography school, we learned things like aperture and exposure and lighting and all the things necessary to be a creative photographer. But in the end, it was about looking through the lens and seeing with God's heart that made such a huge difference. I knew my images could be a voice for those who cannot speak and a powerful tool for advocacy, and I decided I wanted my images to bring justice for those who are hopeless and be a part of God's story.
Read all about it, read all about it. I want to stop and shout about it. Finding the stories that no one hears, finding the tales wrapped in tears of people lost to the world outside. How comfortable we become as we hide from the reality that is life. In our hands the power to open ears. Let a blind man see, let a deaf man hear. Who will write these stories down? Read all about it, read all about it.
Storytelling is at the heart of effective communication. Stories captivate us and they allow us to understand our world. They take us to new places. Stories can direct our attention to the needs of others. Africa has a strong heritage of oral storytelling. Good journalism can unlock the doors to the unseen places. It can allow us to discover and explore the unknown. Every time I learned a new skill, I discovered the true power of the pen to influence and to change the thinking of my audience. My writing has become a reflection of my ideas and my worldview. It's my opportunity to let others hear God's story through the very words that I print and publish.
Lights, camera, action. Those 3 words have captured the imagination of viewers since the beginning of film. There's something exciting, a moment of anticipation when the lights are turned on and the camera starts rolling. I've often wondered, what is it? Is it the idea of being captured on film, or the possibility of fame and fortune that entices people? We should be making media that is excellent in production, creative in presentation, and biblical in content, and will result in films and documentaries that touch both the mind and the hearts of our viewers. That's the good news. And we just need to become good enough to show and tell the world His story. Action!
The greatest calling, the greatest gift. The greatest calling, the greatest gift.
Knowing the Father, making Him known by being His vessel, His hands, His feet, His mouthpiece, here and now.
A voice for the poor, the downtrodden and broken, the orphans, the widows, those stories unspoken.
Who will speak up? Who will take this cup? Who will carry this weight? Will we be the sons that take our place?
We stretch our minds and let creativity flow. Be a church that knows where we need to go. Beyond the boundaries, fences and walls, beyond the borders. May we stand tall.
Touched.
Changed.
Mobilized.
Effective.
Send us to the world that is so infected.
Let us reach out to the homeless and loveless in their plight. In a godless world against corruption, may we stand and fight.
You are called for something bigger.
You are called for something more.
Be a part of this vision.
Let this be your mission.
To communicate truth.
To communicate life.
To be a message of hope to the world outside.
The greatest calling, the greatest gift. The greatest calling, the greatest gift.